Texas Motor Speedway has produced a lot of good memories for one Dale Earnhardt Jr. 16 years ago today, he scored his first ever NASCAR Nationwide Series win at this track. And then in April of 2000, scored his first ever NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at this track. Dale Jr. in the hunt for another trophy tonight in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, starting on the outside of row number 2, a place where he has an awfully good track record of finishing in this series. He's our ESPN in-race reporter tonight, and let's talk to him.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., Rusty Wallace up in the booth. You got us? Dale, Rusty up in the booth. You got us?
I got you.
All right, buddy. Dale, 16 years ago today, you won your very first NASCAR Nationwide Series race. And every time you come here, it seems like you run really good. What is it you like about this track?
He's telling us, but I think he was talking on another radio.
Dale, we got an ESPN mailbag question that comes from Curtis in Franklin, North Carolina. The question is, how does it feel having 4 of your team's cars entered in the nationwide race tonight?
Yeah, we're busy. We're busy this weekend, but they're all running good, so that's a good feeling. We got the pole, so we're happy about that. Hopefully one of us can get the win tonight.
Dale, there's a lot of people talking about tire management tonight. Much of that falls on you behind the wheel. How are you going to cope with that?
Yeah, you know, just got to be careful on the right rear, be careful on the right front. Don't slide either tire too much. Just, you know, it just depends on how hard you want to run the whole run. You can abuse the tire pretty good here compared to most tracks.
Okay, buddy. Have a great race tonight. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, see, we'd be the left button.
Yeah, I think that first question had the wrong button. Two buttons on the steering wheel.
You can see his hands motioning around while he was answering us, but he had the button on the other radio
we
going.
saw him talking. He was just getting after it, but we just weren't hearing him.
All right. Speaking of guys getting ready to get after it, Brian Scott is getting ready to get after it. He's carrying our Chevy on board tonight as we have a look at our high-definition onboard cameras. Kevin Harvick, the Hunt Brothers Pizza camera. Trevor Bain, the AdvoCare on board. Regan Smith with our Goodyear camera. Kyle Larson, the Sunoco on board. Kyle Busch, the Toyota on board. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with a Nationwide Insurance camera, and James Busher with a Nationwide Insurance camera. And a quick reminder, NASCAR.com/RaceBuddy has enhanced coverage for you tonight from here at Texas Motor Speedway. Lap and a half from the green flag, back down to pit road for a quick look at some more of the stories in tonight's race. Here's Dave.
Well, a quick review, Alan. Busch starts 40th. Larson starts 37th. But if you're picking a winner, pick Kyle, because they're both in it to win it tonight, and either one of them could be a factor tonight. Now, why they're back there? They both missed qualifying, the fault of technical inspection issues. Their cars were stuck there. They couldn't even take to the track. But they're out there now. Even though the same thing happened to Busch a couple of weeks ago, they put on a great show and finished first and third. So, if you believe everything's bigger in Texas, tonight's show just might be as well. Here's Mike Massaro.
Talk about big, Dave. Regan Smith opened the season with a victory in Daytona. Now 5 races into the year, he has a share of the championship lead. Yet, he's not completely satisfied. No, sir. Smith says this team needs to keep pushing forward and winning races. He's very optimistic he can get that done tonight. He rolls off third, looking for his second victory of 2014. Doc?
Have you ever wondered why crew chiefs get gray? Well, consider this, folks. In a cost-saving maneuver, NASCAR only allows 4 sets of tires behind the wall. Now, here at Texas, these tires wear very quickly and give up about a second over 25 laps. That means when you come in and put new tires on, you're rocket fast. But you also know now you got to save 1 set of tires to the end of the race to try to win the race. So that means you got to manage the other 3 sets. How do you manage it? Well, that crew chief up there has to make a decision. When does he come down pit road and put fuel only on the car? If he puts fuel only and the other leaders come in and put tires on, he gets lapped. Or worse, he wears the tires out and gets in the wall. A tremendous amount of pressure down here on these crew chiefs all night long. Alan?
All right, Doc, thanks. So want to look at some favorites in the field for tonight? Well, how about these guys?
Well, it's hard not to pick Kyle Busch as a favorite, and even though he's starting in the rear, but Kevin Harvick, he's got a lot of wins, and he's starting up front.
I'd say Matt Kenseth, I mean, this guy is so good when the tires get worn on old tracks and stuff. I talked to him down there today. He said his crew was telling me, Rusty, I think he's going to fly around here tonight and tomorrow because he's just really good at tire management.
And he's due to win one of these.
From Dale Jr.'s car.
All right, buddy, it's a little shorter for us. We're used to a little bit longer. 200 laps, we got 4 sets in here. Don't worry about the tires and what our strategy is. Just run it. Let me know what you got. We know it's going to change as it cools.
Stevie Letarte calling the race for Dale Jr. tonight. Again, his team with 4 entries in the field. Kevin Harvick, green and white car, leading them down to the green flag in Texas. Clean through lap 1. Harvick leads. Regan Smith second. Elliott Sadler third. And there's the race for 4th and 5th. 88 Dale Jr., 20 Matt Kenseth.
Now, Matt Kenseth did not get a very good start. He's still losing spot.
And on the right, the guys charging from the back. 3, Ty Dillon. 42, Kyle Larson. 54, Kyle Busch.
You know, we saw this in California. Kyle Busch started in the very back and just charging his way up to the front. And I said, hey, pretty soon he's got to stall out. That's going to be hard to pass cars, but you know what? He just kept on going. He kept on going. This car we're looking at there, Kyle Larson. This kid is really good on the top of the racetrack, working a momentum-style race. And look at this. On the top, got a lot of momentum going on. He loves running up top in these style racetracks, especially these old wore-out tracks.
And let's not forget to mention also 60, Chris Buescher, red and black car also for the Roush Fenway team, had the same problem. Didn't get through tech, was not able to make a qualifying run, started at the back of the field.
Now, one thing we're going to see go on tonight is this track change quite a bit. They've had a little bit of practice on the track, but when this track goes in complete darkness, I really suspect the chassis are going to change a lot. We heard Steve Letarte saying, hey, when this track goes cool, when the temperatures cool down, big changes. That's one thing we're going to have to look at.
2 and 62, Scott and Gaughan. Brian Scott, Brendan Gaughan, racing for 8th and 9th place there. A couple of Team Camaros for Richard Childress Racing. Brendan at one time 4 straight wins at this track in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. He loves this place.
Yeah, Alan, if you talk to Brendan, you ask him what his favorite track is, every time he'll say right here in Texas, because he was so successful in those trucks. Not only did he win, he would dominate in those things, and he feels like he can do the same thing in these nationwide cars.
Trevor Bayne, 6.
Well, that's textbook how you get up behind somebody and loosen them up. Just close enough to make Brendan have to squeeze out of the throttle just a little bit.
And I'll tell you what, Andy, when you were that front car, when I'd be running up front, the car would pull behind me, coming off the corner, I knew it was coming. I knew I was going to lose. I knew I couldn't hold on to it. And the best thing you can do is just let the guy by, or else you're probably going to spin out.
Yeah, he kind of just renders you helpless in that situation. All you can do is back off the gas.
31.99, Dylan Kozneski and James Buescher. Kozneski taking the 11th spot away from the Texas native Buescher.
I talked to Kwasniewski in the garage area today and just asked him what his first impressions were of this racetrack, and he said, I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all the first run. He says, but we did get a lot better. He says, I think I'm going to like it.
And here they come. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, who raced for the win in California 2 weeks ago. Last race for this nationwide series. About to crack the top 10.
And you talk about Kyle Larson and how well he moves around the racetrack. And I think that, that's one of his strong points. He's never satisfied with where he's running and the speed that he's getting. He'll always look for a better place on the racetrack, whether high, low, middle, wherever. He's going to find somewhere his car is better.
Well, I tell you what, I talked to Kevin Harvick today, Ricky Craven and I did, down sitting on pit wall. He come up to me, and Ricky actually asked him about Kyle Larson. He said, Rusty, he is going to be one of the best out there, and here's why. This guy does not sit still. He moves all over the track, just like you said, Andy. If he runs on the bottom, it's not working, he'll go to the middle, the top, and I really think a lot of that comes from his dirt track driving skills.
11th, 12th, and 13th there.
You can see the bumps in the racetrack. This is one of those tracks that has a lot of character to it. Kyle Busch. Finally makes the pass there.
So that puts Kyle and Kyle up to 11th and 12th places. Kevin Harvick out in front has led all the laps so far. Opened up about a second and a third on Regan Smith early in the going here in the Lone Star State. A very chilly start to the day here in Fort Worth, Texas, but a nice 64 degrees right now as we're just underway with tonight's O'Reilly Auto Parts 300 for the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Texas Motor Speedway. Kevin Harvick, the race leader, up by 2.3 seconds on Regan Smith. There's Regan in second, Dale Jr. third there. Elliott Sadler back to fourth, being challenged by his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate Matt Kenseth in the 20.
Yeah, now Matt looks like he's going the right direction. Early in the race, he was going back.
You know, we talked earlier about how he's so good with tires that wear a lot. And I suspect that's what's going on. When the tires are brand new, everybody else is about as good as him. When those tires start wearing, Matt searches around, finds a good groove. And you see right now, he's running about the second lane. He's not clear up to the top, but he's an expert at this stuff, at working those older tires.
And the very impressive Chase Elliott, the 18-year-old in the 9 car, picking up a spot on Elliott Sadler, racing at another track where he has precious little experience.
I'll tell you what, I think everybody's been impressed with what Chase has been doing all year long. I mean, even his dad says he's doing better than I ever thought he'd do. It's some real fast racetracks like Las Vegas and out in California. Run great at both of those tracks. I know Dale Jr.'s happy with him. His sponsors are happy. And he's the talk of the crowd. He really is.
And you know, when you were racing years ago against young drivers this young, that they were nowhere near as mature as we see some of these drivers today. I mean, this guy races like he's been doing this forever.
I tell you, you listen to his interviews, he's so calm. He really explains his car good. And above all, he really appreciates what he has. He is so excited to be in this car. It's unreal. You got to remember, this is a kid who's come out of short track cars, a little bit of truck racing. And man, he's got a big brake ride here with a big time sponsor too.
He not only went by Elliott Sadler, he pulled away from them fairly easily. Let's update this 11 with Doc.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler says the car just not handling it all his luck. He's going way up across the racetrack. He said the car is very, very tight, middle exit. Now, they left the car slightly tight to begin the race, knowing this track would free up, but it is so tight now when it goes in the middle of the corner, the car just will not turn, and he's scrubbing off a lot of speed. He'll lose another spot right here.
Kyle Busch driving on by.
Yeah, you see Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson and the guys that started at the back. They basically had sticker tires when this race started. They didn't have any laps on them. The rest of the cars out there had basically 3 qualifying sessions on their tires. So they do have a little advantage when it comes to tires, and that's easing them, or helping them ease their way to the front.
So Kyle Busch up to 6th place after starting 40th.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm watching Elliott Sadler struggle here a little bit, and I watched that car struggle quite a bit, and a lot of people say, look, Kyle Busch's car is the same as Elliott's. You know, and every now and then I hear drivers say, look, I can't drive his setup. I just can't drive what he's got. I wish one time they would put 100% of that Kyle Busch setup in the 11 car and let him start the race. And if he doesn't feel right the first maybe 10 or 15 laps, I'd be interested to see if he's going to get accustomed to it and if he can run better, because it's obvious Kyle's setup is really, really good. And we know these cars are the same.
Yeah, but I talked to the 3 crew chiefs today in the garage, all 3 of them together at Joe Gibbs, and they said that the 2 cars, the 20 and the 54, run very similar setups, but Elliott does like to run the track a little different, and it does change the way you have to set the car up. And I think that's one of the reasons that he can't really run the identical setup and still be up. They say he really arcs the car in the corner. Elliott likes to do that late turn in, and that really is hard to set up for because the car wants to get really light and loose in that situation.
Well, I agree with everything you're saying. Although, if I was done with practice and my old hot rod wasn't handling good, I'd say put that 54 setup in that car and let me try it. You see a lot of guys in the Cup garage, Jerry, going, hey, my car's bad, but my teammate's great. And they just put their teammate's setup in there and start the race and see what happens.
Speaking of starting fast, 22 of Ryan Blaney right there. So his car had trouble getting through tech inspection for qualifying, just like a lot of these other guys did. They got it through tech very late in that opening 25-minute session in the knockout-style qualifying now. He was buckled in the car down at the exit of the inspection area, drove it from the garage out onto the racetrack and got past the start-finish line just before they waved the red and black flags to end the session. He made one lap on the track from the garage area and set third fastest time.
That take him any time to get up to speed, doesn't it?
And, you know, another one of these kids, just cool as could be.
And did you just notice Kyle Larson moving all the way up to the top 7? Kyle Busch is in the top 5.
Yeah. Kevin Harvick's in the top lane, and he's also in the top spot.
Can he stay there?
He's been there the whole race so far.
They're coming.
But it's kind of early still. Here in Fort Worth, you just watched second place change hands. Dale Jr., 88, had gotten around Regan Smith for the runner-up spot. Kyle Busch closed and went by.
He's on a mission.
That's 32 laps to get from last to second.
He's got about 5 seconds, a little over 5 seconds to make up on Kevin Harvick.
Tell you what, old Kyle Busch, I like to download his brain and see what's in there about what he knows about these nationwide cars. He knows how to get these doggone things handling. He knows the right feedback to give this crew chief. And it doesn't look like he's just
tighten it up, you know, but sometimes it's too tight if I don't get the rear swinging correct.
Just giving good feedback. Just adjusting that car, looking out front, what's going to happen. Incredible, this style of racing.
Well, he's got, as Andy said, 5 seconds to make up to catch Kevin Harvick for the race lead. This is for 5th and 6th places. Kyle Larson was with Kyle Busch, stride for stride up through the pack. That's kind of stalled out here about halfway through the top 10. And Matt Kenseth, 20, started on the front row and slipped back. And he's kind of settled in here.
It's like his car might be giving up a little bit of rear grip.
Quarter.
And that's right.
All clear.
It's right as you come off the bank, and it just, the track flattens out big time right there. That's where you lose that downforce, that side grip.
Evidently, he figured it out. He passed Matt.
Dave?
You guys talked earlier about Kyle searching for that line. That's become his MO pretty much in all of NASCAR racing. Well, he knew he was going to have to do that starting at the back, and right before the race started, had a good conversation with crew chief Scott Zipadelli, and it was about, hey, let's forget about that cup car for right now, find your line, and we'll be there at the end. And Kyle gave a very confident 10-4 coming back. As you saw, his car a little bit loose right now. They'll make some adjustments for that on the first stop. Mike?
Well, Dave, Kyle isn't the only driver saying his car's loose. Matt Kenseth saying the same thing. In fact, he's saying it's way too loose to run the line he wants, which is up top, although that's where he's been trying to make it work. But he's very detail-oriented, and the car just is not handling the way he wants it to. They're expecting an air pressure adjustment now in the first pit stop to tighten that car up, Doc.
And back behind him, impressive rookie Chase Elliott. Same story for Chase. He said, I've never been here before. I was going to go to school and watch some of the veterans get it on this track, which is why he's following Matt Kenseth. He's got the same issue Kenseth had. The car losing the rear grip, and now he says, I've lost almost all of the rear grip. I'm just hanging on, trying to run near the bottom of the racetrack. Alan?
All right, Doc, thanks. Not pictured. Mike Bliss has been on and off pit road. Hood was up on the 19 car. He went back behind the wall, has come back onto the racetrack. He's 24 laps down. Mike was hoping to have a good night tonight. Not going to turn out that way.
Yeah, it sounds like that engine was letting go. He makes the turn into the garage.
As I say that, he comes back down the pit lane and makes the left turn.
I think they'd had some problems with the engine, and it finally just went all the way south the last lap.
Tell you what, these guys need this long green flag run right now for tire management to make sure they got another set of tires left at the end of this race, I would think.
Yeah, of all the crew chiefs I've talked to, they said, all of them said, we just want a long green flag run at some point. That way we won't have to make that hard decision to save a set of tires for the end of that last race at the end, last run at the end of the race.
I went down to the garage area today, was talking to Trent Owen, one of the best nationwide crew chiefs last year. And because he was so good, he's got a cup job now working for Petty. He told me, Rusty, he said the two tracks that bothered me the very worst for making a call about tires was Texas and Homestead. I asked him why. He said, because those tracks have a lot of cautions, and I keep running out of tires. Other places, not that many cautions. So those two really worried him. But he did say, man, we need one long green flag run so we don't have to worry about all those tire strategies going on.
They're getting there in this one. And Kyle Larson up to 4th place with that pass on Regan Smith a minute ago. Caution free to this point. First yellow in the race here last November was at lap 70. Just after everyone had made a green flag pit stop and taken on a fresh set of tires. Saw a lot of splash and goes there. We'll see how this unfolds. Caution out, first time tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. Trevor Bayne was running in 13th place. He had troubles that started off turn number 2, finished off turn 4, and look at the inside of that car. They're still mounting on him.
Yeah, you can see all that stuff on the dash. That's part of the foam that's in the right side of the car. Looked like he had a right rear tire go down coming off of turn 2. Tried to get it around 3 and 4 and end up spinning out. Pit road's open, though. Here come the leaders. Coming to you, Dave.
Kyle Busch, very good all the way up to second. A little bit loose for that car, but he said only a tad here, a tad there on air pressure. Dale Earnhardt Jr., very loose, late exit. He'll get adjustments for that car. And for Kyle Larson, really early, very good, but during later in the run, he lost grip on that car. Sunoco fuel in all of them. Doc?
Kevin Harvick, very loose center off, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, 1 round down. There's a round down, left rear wedge. They're going to clean the grill and put a piece of tape on the grill to try to get the car tightened up. There's the wedge adjustment. Harvick down and away. He will be the first off of pit road in front of Kyle Busch.
That's how they went on the pit road. That's how they went off. Regan Smith losing a couple spots on the exchange of pit stops. Trevor Bayne, troubles off turn 2 that wound up in turn 4. That's chunks of what appears to be his right rear tire coming out from under the car. Then he spun at this end of the track. A live look inside Trevor Bayne's car as we wrap up the first caution tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. Rusty had the best description. Looks like they forgot to empty the lint filter in the dryer.
I tell you what, it's a mess inside that car. That stuff come apart, that inner panel come out of the right rear. And that flat tire, Andy, just whipped all around and just tore that foam all to pieces in there. It's got it all over the inside of the car.
He does a good job not to get it in the wall, but there's a lot of damage that tire did to that right rear. And I see some smoke from the car on that lap trying to get to the pits.
Down to Dave.
They'll work on the right rear there, trying to pull the fender away from the tire. There may also be some debris in there because there's the right rear tire. There's pieces and parts of it on the track and perhaps up in the wheel well. Trevor reported his car was loose. He felt he was wearing the right rear, and that just came apart from an extreme wear situation, guys.
Dave, thanks. Remember, we detailed just before the start of the race, this is a new right side tire that's being used here. Hadn't heard any of the teams talk about excessive tire wear or anything like that in our time down in the garage before the race. But I'm sure that got a lot of folks' attention and something to keep an eye on there.
Mine.
Kyle Busch outside of Kevin Harvick for the restart.
So Trevor's going to go a lap down right there. Going to have to hope for the lucky dog later on in the race.
We're going to see now just how good a car Kevin Harvick has. He's got the same tires now as Kyle Busch, and some of these cars have started at the back. We'll see if he can drive away from them. He certainly did the first run.
Well, I think the track's changed a little bit too, Andy. It looks a little bit blacker, not a whole lot, but they're definitely putting more rubber down, which is going to change the handling of the car.
Yeah, that's a good thing, though. With high tire wear, you want to see that groove kind of come in. It'll help that. The longer this race wears on, it'll lessen that wear.
Good stuff here.
Hey, that's what's so great about this track, guys. Look at all the different lanes. I mean, they're on the bottom. They are in the middle, in the top, slipping around. And we talked about these older, wore-out tracks. It just puts great racing on, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Chase Elliott working on Kyle Busch for 3rd place.
I mean, when you're a young kid like that, and you're going toe-to-toe with Kyle Busch, and you're about to pass him, you're probably thinking, you know what, man, I think I've made it. I think I'm good enough to do this.
Well, you hear just how little Kyle Larson's out of the throttle. He carries so much speed around this track.
A lot less horsepower than a Cup car, so we know that momentum in these nationwide cars is everything in the world. So these guys have got to stay in that throttle, keep those old motors wound up. You see 7,600 RPM right there gaining. They're only getting down to like 7,000 RPM in the center of the corner. It's not a lot.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can just see Chase Elliott, how hard he's having to drive that car.
I said 7,000 RPM. It got down to only 7,500 at that time. So they're keeping those things wound up pretty good in the center of the corner.
You're going to have that thing under you to make that bottom pass like that.
Yeah, you see how rough the racetrack is, and it's really difficult. Even with new tires on there, they're running lap times now about a second quicker than they were before that caution came out, but it's still tough over those bumps.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, it's on their mind, too, how much the track flattens out off of turn 2 and turn 4, like the guys in Countdown were talking about earlier. It's a tough spot. And as a driver, you're going to be really aware where you make those passes at, especially off of 2 and 4. You might get in trouble down low.
Let's check in with Doc.
You know, Chase Elliott's car had been loose. They put a piece of tape on it and made a slight and just changed tires. It is much, much better now. But Chase said, he said, my learning curve is very steep here. He said, the thing I don't know yet is how to use the arrow in these cars. He said, I can get up behind a car that I'm faster than, but I don't know how to use the arrow to be able to get by him. Whereas someone like Kyle Busch or Kyle Larson can use the arrow to pass me, and I can't hold them up. So that's what I've got to learn. And right now, he said, I'm hoping to learn a lot tonight.
Yeah, he's figuring this stuff out pretty quick.
You're talking about he finished 5th at Las Vegas on an old surface. He finished 6th at Auto Club Speedway on an old surface.
Caution.
Trouble, turn 2.
Turn 1 and 2.
Robert Richardson.
Coming one more inside.
Believe I saw the engine in that car going up in smoke, heading off into the corner, out of the corner of my eye. And the second caution is out for the Texas native, Richardson.
Yeah, he made a little contact with the wall, too. And I think you're right, Alan. I think the engine might have been the problem from the start. Now you can see right here, the smoke coming out, looks like from under the hood in the front of the car. Tries to chase it, catch it, but he can't do it before he gets in the wall. That's no fun, is it, Rusty? You have an engine let go, get all that oil on the tires.
Oh, man, that's terrible when that happens. You know, you saw him he had the wheel turn to the left, and he backsteered it. And at that point, I'm sitting there going, keep that wheel to the left, man, because as soon as he backsteered it, it went right up in the wall. A bad deal, bad break, and he blows in the engine and hurts the car real bad also.
Richardson, one of a half dozen Texas natives in this Nationwide Series field tonight. So second caution of the race is out. Pit road open here.
There've only been 10 laps. So this would be a time to stay out.
Looks like Trevor Bain's going to take the opportunity maybe to get a little more work done on his car. That's Chris Pusher coming in also. Texas Motor Speedway, the Great American Speedway they like to call it, rising up out of the northern part of Fort Worth. And as the sun has gone down, the action has heated up.
Looks like got a snowstorm, too.
It does look like it's a little frigid inside Trevor Bain's car from his problems earlier that brought out the first caution of the race. Wrapping up the second caution here with Kevin Harvick having led all of the laps so far. While they continue to clean up, let's check in with our ESPN in-race reporter, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's running second.
Hey, Dale Earnhart Jr., Rusty Wallace up in the booth. You got us?
Yep.
Hey, buddy, it's completely dark outside right now. Looks like the racetrack has transitioned. How's that car handling right now? Is this racetrack changing a lot also?
Not a lot. It's just getting faster, but I'm a little tight in the middle. We've been working on that some, and we tightened the car up on exit. It's a little bit bad swinging the back on exit there late on that first run. We tuned that up a little bit. We still need to work on the middle and get it rolling the center a little bit better, especially at the first 4 or 5 laps. after that, the car gets a little bit better as I back the pace off and get off the nose a little bit. But when we run real hard, we load the nose up too much in the middle of the corner.
Hey, buddy, as an owner, what's it feel like looking in front of you and seeing one of your cars up there, then looking behind you and see young Chase Elliott in fourth running so good?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of great work at JRM. It makes me proud of the guys that are building these cars. HMS has helped us a ton with motors and engineering help. The drivers are doing a good job. Everybody's doing a good work. You know, we got a little bit more to gain to get to where we want to be, but we're definitely learning, getting somewhere.
Okay, buddy, thanks for talking to us. We'll check in with you later.
One to go to line.
Took the words right out of my mouth. One to go at the line. Dale Jr. running second. Kevin Harvick, the race leader. Double up for the restart here. Reminder, next Friday night. How about crooked old Darlington Raceway? Talk about a fun place to watch a race.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that one.
This guy's trying to navigate around a racetrack that was built in 1950 and designed for cars that go about 100 miles an hour, and they're doing 160 or so, and every lap is an adventure for these drivers. Darlington Nationwide Series next Friday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2.
Andy, you were telling me earlier that you talked to Dylan Kwasniewski, and he said, man, this old Texas track, it's hard to get around. I don't know about it. I was telling you, if he doesn't know about this one, wait till he gets to Darlington next week. It's got to run 2 inches on that wall. He might think that one's tougher.
So, free pass at the caution. David Starr, 17th place. Neglected to mention J.J. Yaley got the free pass at the first caution. Apologize for that. He is also on the lead lap. So 17 of them here, doubled up to go. Trevor Baynes made about 5 pit stops under this yellow as they continue to work on his 6 car. And now it is Kevin Harvick and Dale Earnhardt Jr. side by side for the race lead. Here's a look at the restart order. Remember Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson started all the way at the back of the pack, along with Ty Dillon and Chris Buescher, all having failed to make a qualifying attempt earlier today after tech inspection troubles. Harvick's been really good tonight. Let's see how he makes out this time. Dale Jr. struggling a bit. Second back to fourth.
See Harvick not driving away like he did that first start. Right before that caution came out, Kyle Busch had started to pull back up on the back bumper of Harvick. It looks like maybe he's going to continue that. I don't think Harvick's going to be able to drive away from him this easy.
Alan, going back to Dale Jr., looks like he just hasn't settled in yet. And that car is just not where it was. But I think it'll come on. But that first couple laps is tough.
Well, one thing I heard him say right there is he can't really hustle the car because the splitter's hitting. And when they have new tires on, they're carrying all that speed. I think that's where he's struggling. He can't really carry this real fast speed that they can run for a couple of laps after a restart.
Look who's joined the party at the front. Kyle Larson off that restart, grabbing a couple of spots. Now trying to press Kyle Busch for second place.
I don't think Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick and guys like that nowadays, when they look in the mirror and see Kyle Larson, they don't say, who is that? I haven't been used to run with that guy. They expect him to be up there now because he's no joke, man. He's a young driver, but boy, he has got some talent that is incredible. And again, earlier in the show, we were talking about how Harvick told us that Kyle Larson, he's never seen a driver like that who can search all over the track to find the best groove out there.
Got another right rear.
Canterbury Hill.
Out.
Yep, there's the caution.
This is not what these guys want to see. This is where this tire management thing's going to start coming into play. And they're going to start running out of tires.
Yeah, the one thing, he doesn't have that many laps on that right rear. I would say he may have run over something. That's a little different than what we saw with Trevor Baynes. That's just the whole tread rubber coming off.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andy. I don't think that it's been tire wear issue. It's got to be a puncture that caused that.
Third caution of the race out, the Oklahoma native, Barry Hill. I saw a huge crowd around the back of his transporter. I'm thinking back to last week again. His hauler in the garage. In the garage area earlier.
In the paddock?
Yeah, garage. I got that part right. A lot of family and friends down from Oklahoma to see the young man race here. That tire fixed up, and he is headed back onto the racetrack, but caution out for the third time. Tires changed at lap 43, Andy.
Yeah, this is a tough one because they've run quite a few laps under caution, very few under green on this set. I don't expect them to come down the leaders at least.
Anybody for just...
Well, I would think about gas, and the only reason I say that it's been, like I said, 20 laps on the fuel, a lot under caution. But these tires don't look like they want to go a whole fuel run, so I don't know if there's any advantage to coming down pit road and getting fuel only.
Kyle Larson.
Yeah, his old horse looked like it wanted to go toward the barn, didn't it?
Yeah.
He stays out,
though. Elliott Sadler, is that the first one in there? Yep, and he was back in 14th place. Not many takers on the pit lane here under the caution for the third time.
Just a beautiful night, perfect night in downtown Dallas. Not too far from there, Texas Motor Speedway after 65 laps complete. Kevin Harvick is out front. So a little bit of basketball in town this weekend, a little bit of racing.
It's as good as it gets.
We're looking for a little bit of a Cinderella out here tonight.
Kevin,
get it?
It's euphoric for me this weekend.
You are. It is a very good weekend for you. Not a good weekend, though, on track so far. If you are Trevor Bayne, Tanner Berryhill, earlier when we were talking in the middle of Countdown, tire management, a big issue, and we are seeing it on track tonight.
Yeah, so in most cases, drivers are trained to go fast. And in this case, it's about going fast still, but it's about tire preservation. And what drivers can do is if they're driving off the right rear, where they have to put some wheel in on the exit, they're just going to have to adjust their line so that they're not as aggressive on that right rear tire. Experienced drivers are good at it. Young drivers not so good at it, but they better learn quick tonight. Looks like could be an issue.
Yeah, we're going to see, especially if we can get a little bit more of a sample size. You know, that wasn't that long of a run before we saw the last issue with the right rear tire. Let's watch again. Let's see what happens the next 25 laps. And usually, you know, with the right front tire, you've got so much camber, you know, built into the tire that it creates an issue with the right front. You see it in the right rear, it makes you say, I wonder what's going on. So got to see a little bit more.
Dr. Jerry Punch is down on pit road. What's Goodyear saying?
Well, I just checked in with Greg Stucker from Goodyear, Nicole, and he said that he had not seen any other right rear tire issues. He said the right rear tire on Trevor Bayne's car, he said Trevor was so loose, exactly what you guys were talking about. The car was so loose that he ripped that right rear tire apart, and that's why he had the problem. He said doesn't know about the 17 car yet. With other cars down here where I am, like the 9 car of Chase Elliott, our leader, Kevin Harvick, been very loose the second half of their run. They came in, and their right side tires looked fine. Nothing coming apart, nothing wearing significantly, so no other tire issues down here that we can see thus far among the leaders. Alan?
Okay, Doug, thanks. We were coming to the restart. They have waved it off, and we're going to go another lap. They've got a cleanup truck out in turn 2, picking up a piece of debris that was spotted, I believe, from the pace car. I'm just thinking, you know, if somehow the Carolina Tar Heels had been playing basketball here this weekend, Big Brad would be
he would have been
impossible to live with, because he's got his 2 favorite things in one place, basketball and NASCAR racing. If his team had been here, he'd have been at another whole level, huh, big fella?
Absolutely. And they've got big ribs here, man. Are you kidding? The stakes are huge.
Get those delivered to you already, huh? All right. So last restart, Kyle Busch got through to second and was there with Kevin Harvick for a little bit, as close as anybody'd been. But Harvick got away after a couple of laps. Now Kyle Busch is going to get another shot at him.
Getting into the corner, he's beating me because he can arc it out a little bit more. And he's got more rear grip and more front turn. Like if I arced it out like that, I'd probably lose the rear trying to turn it down, and then the turn wouldn't be there either, you know? So I'm just lacking a little bit of that.
Always processing.
Yeah, that's why he's so good. I mean, having a driver like that that's giving you that kind of information really helps you adjust that car.
His explanation right there is a good one, but it's a tough one to fix too, because he said, I'm loose going at the corner, and in the center of the corner, I'm loose in the front end. So as a crew chief, you're trying to figure out what you can do to fix both ends.
Yeah, and that's tough. That's a tough problem to fix, but it's kind of a common issue. Kyle Larson, he's made a good charge up through there in third.
Good look at the restart order here. Ryan Sieg got the free pass at the caution. He's back on the lead lap in 18th place. All right, let's see what happens this time. 100 miles into the 300 scheduled for tonight.
Regan Smith really working that throttle. Now it's Kyle Larson's turn to challenge for the lead.
So up to second place is winner of the last race, Larson, looking for some running room around the man who's led all of the laps so far, Kevin Harvick.
I tell you, in the corner, he's got that nose out a little bit, so he's getting good downforce in front of that car. That makes that front end stick real good, and that's how he's able to stay right on Harvick's rear end because of the momentum and that clean air.
Harvick's car, though, really good from the center of the corner off.
I tell you guys, I've been really impressed with Kevin Harvick's restarts. I mean, he's up against the best. Every time we see Kyle Busch in the restart, he comes to that gearbox, especially on the outside of the track. He's one of the best. And so far, twice in a row, Harvick has spanked him on those restarts.
It's been kind of hard to find a flaw with anything to do with this race tonight, hasn't it?
Yep.
Harvick?
Yeah, he's doing great.
I mean,
well, we see all of these junior motorsports cars up front, and I think Kevin Harvick's a big reason that you're seeing that. He started driving that car this year, and he's really been kind of hard on the guys. I talked to some of the crew chiefs. They said he's really picking apart the weaknesses that they have on that team and working on them, and I think you're seeing some of the fruits of that right now. I mean, Kevin Harvick out in front, this is as strong as we've seen these cars.
this was a topic you brought up when we were all talking on Tuesday about Kyle Larson, talking about how a good driver, an aggressive driver, will expose, I'm going to quote you here, will expose the weaknesses in your team and make you work on them to be better.
Yeah, that's one of the things I realized when I went to work for Dale Earnhardt Sr., how quickly that we could make the car better, because he would find the deficiencies that you had in the car so quick because he's taking the car to the limit every single lap. And I think that's what we see with Kyle Larson. He's made this Turner Scott team a lot better because he drives the car so hard that you can find the little things that you can do to your car to make it better, and you find it quickly. You've got a good car tonight, though, Dave.
It's been fun to listen down here, Andy. Start of the run, driver report, tight entry. Crew chief back to him. Well, I shouldn't have added that little bit of air pressure in the right front. Driver back to crew chief. Hang on, I really haven't driven the car hard yet. Now he's driving it hard, and now he's not reporting that tight entry anymore. Like you said, gives it everything and great feedback.
There you go. Well, after starting in the back, Kyle Larson up to second, Kyle Busch to third. Ty Dillon, after this restart, has worked his way up to seventh ahead of Matt Kenseth. And then Regan Smith, who we heard having to really pedal that 7 car just off the restart, has now slipped back all the way to 9th place. He was running as high as second in the early going.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Ty Dillon moving up quicker because he was the fastest in practice. Didn't get to qualify. He was back there with the 2 Kyles in the back on the start of the race. I thought maybe we'd see him chase him up through the pack, or maybe even lead him through the pack. But he's taking his time about getting there, but he's now up to 7th. He's on his way to the top 5.
Tell you what, he's getting it done big time right now. Starting to back, like you just mentioned, Andy, and all the way up to 7th. This car hasn't slipped around much at all. It's going straight forward. He's got a good handling car, and he seems like the crew chief is keeping up with the racetrack.
Danny Stockman, the crew chief, won the championship with Ty's brother Austin in this series a year ago. Pattern repeated. Kevin Harvick getting away in the opening laps after a restart. He has led every lap of the night so far tonight. Closing in on halfway tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and look at what we got going on here. 3 drivers racing for the lead, beginning to experiment as we get later on this set of tires with different lines around the racetrack, each finding a sliver of speed here or there that gives him a run or slips him back from the group, and all the while Harvick able to hang on.
I think Kyle Larson would love to have Kevin Harvick's groove, but Kevin's occupying it now, so he's trying some different things and then not really able to make this pass. He's still looking for it, though.
He'll try high. Kyle Busch will try low.
Well, now's the time to do it. I mean, it's not the critical point in the race. I mean, he's can I dive bomb getting into turn 1 and turn 3 and clear him? That's what Kyle's thinking. He tried it, didn't work. But at least he knows.
Uh-oh. Lap traffic there.
All right, get a pick.
Oh, look out.
Okay.
52, Joey Gase.
Early in the race, he wouldn't have got away with that late.
Just trying to hold his line. And
hey, Andy, that's a good point, what you just said. I mean, late, you got to go for it. You got to try it. Right now, you need to log laps and stay in the hunt. And that's what Kyle did. That was a good piece of driving. Use his head on that one.
It's one of the things that leaders face when they come up on some of the slower cars is which way is he going to go and what is the speed differential between what I'm running as the race leader and what this lap car might be doing. He's obviously struggling with his car in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, and he looks in his mirror and he sees 3 cars faster than him, all 3 running a different line. Which lane does he take? I think he did a good job just kind of holding his line and let these guys race around him.
And that's what they teach in the drivers' meetings, the rookie meetings. Hey, when you get these guys come to you, just stay still. Don't dart to the top or dart to the bottom because you could spin them all out. Just hold your line. And he did a good job, the 52 car did.
About as close as anybody's been to Kevin Harvick, except in the first couple laps after a restart tonight. Kyle Busch looking for the race lead.
It's the same thing we saw with Larson. Larson ran right up to Harvick, but couldn't make the pass because that high line was just carrying all that momentum. We'll see if Kyle Busch can make it work. He got a good run that time.
Whoa.
I'll tell you what, that was close. He almost had room to slide up.
Got him here.
Yeah. That was a nice pass. Now we'll see if Harvick can make the crossover.
No, and he did too. Harvick leads that lap. Actually, they're going to go back and check the photo finish camera to see who actually led that lap. Harvick by a skosh.
Don't believe Harvick's going to lead this one.
It just looks to me as the night goes on, we talked about changing track conditions. Looks like this change in track conditions is benefiting Kyle Busch. And Kevin's car starting to go off just a little bit now.
Yeah, I saw him do one thing right there, though. He just waved Larson by. I think he's thinking, okay, I can't maintain the lead. Let me just go in tire conservation mode here.
Yeah, he's struggling just a tiny bit. He's still got a really fast car, Kevin Harvick does. But now, it's like you said, hold on to those tires. Don't wear them out. Because Manny's got to manage them because they don't have that many left in the pit area.
Larson had that.
I got a chatter all the way around now.
Uh-oh.
Well, he's talking about tire chatter. That's a little bit of a tight condition where the front tires aren't gripping like he wants. So he puts a little more wheel in it. And when he does that, then the front tires start chattering. And that's a sign of the car being just a little bit too tight. They might want to adjust it.
That was from Kevin Harvick's car, and this from race leader Kyle Busch's car.
Huh. I'd be worried about that little transmission right there, especially what we've seen with tires here lately.
And I'm telling you what, when these crew chiefs and these owners hear that, hey, I got a tire chatter, I got a vibration. The big payday for these guys is tomorrow. Sunday during the Cup race. That's the big deal. They can't afford to get these guys hurt with blowing a tire in one of these nationwide races.
Now I see Harvick back way off of these 2 front runners. I think he didn't like what he felt with his front tires. He's going to try to make sure that he's not the first one to have a problem. Because he basically just waved Kyle Larson by.
When you got tire chatter like Harvick just said, that's just lack of grip like you were saying. A lot of times, they really put a lot of air pressure in these tires, and sometimes they get overinflated. They got to drop that pressure down and get that grip back. But there's a point where too low air pressure makes grip go away. So that's something that's happened in the last 4 or 5 years that they've really got to pay attention to because it can go both ways.
Harvick's a smart driver, though. He knows he's feeling that. He says, if I keep pushing this thing with that tire chatter, I'm going to have a problem.
Oh, yeah, you got a tire chattering like that. You keep driving it hard to its limit, it's going to blow. There's no doubt about it. You're just pushing it way too hard. He's got to back out of the throttle earlier, let it coast to the corner, and maybe pick the throttle up a little bit later.
Lap 43 was the last time these drivers were on pit road and changed tires. The only time they've been on pit road and changed tires in this race. That's 50 laps ago. Don't forget NASCAR.com/RaceBuddy has enhanced coverage tonight from here at Texas Motor Speedway as the NASCAR Nationwide Series races on. Here in Fort Worth tonight, the NASCAR Nationwide Series running the O'Reilly Auto Parts 300. Kyle Busch, the second leader of the race. Kevin Harvick started on pole, led the first 87 laps of this one. But now that we are near the end of a run on the second set of tires in this race, Harvick has faded way back to 5th place, and Kyle Busch has moved from all the way at the back of the pack to the race lead. Remember, Busch and Larson were among 4 cars that started last in this one, after not making it through tech inspection in time to make a qualifying run earlier. First moves to pit road coming as Chase Elliott dives in here. Doc?
Yeah, the 18-year-old rookie said the car was tight, center off, and also said, I need more forward bite. Crew chief Greg Allen said, okay, we're going to change tires, put 4 fresh Goodyears on it. We're going to take air out of both rear tires to help with the forward bite. Got to get it completely full of fuel. They'll have to make one more stop. Left side tires going on, being very deliberate, clean the grill, and Elliott is away. Dave.
Dale Jr. had been switching back between 3rd and 4th place. He said he was losing rear grip and watching that right rear. Yeah, a driver watches it by feeling it. He was a little concerned. They'll make a track bar adjustment on this stop full of Sunoco fuel. Doc?
Back to our pole sitter and early leader, Kevin Harvick, who said, you heard him on the radio, the tires are chattering now all the way around. That's why he backed off to manage his tires the last 7 laps and let the 42 go by. It'll be 4 tires. They made an air pressure change back from what they had done before. Left side tires don't problem with the left rear. And Dave for 54.
Kyle Busch is in. It'll be an air pressure adjustment for him. Loose in, tight in the middle early in the run, and then you heard him talking about that right front vibration. He thought that he felt. Good stop. Sunoco fuel, he's gone. Mike?
Crew Chief Ryan Pemberton took a big swing at the 7 car on the last round of pit stops, putting a rubber in the left rear. The car was not to the liking of Regan Smith through the most of that run. However, at the end, it came to life, so they elected to do no changes here, just 4 tires and fuel. Dave?
They asked Kyle Larson again if he wanted an adjustment on that car. They put air pressure in the right front on the last run. He said, no, I like it the way it is. The crew goes around to the left side. They'll finish up the stop and send Kyle back on his way. A chance to win 2 in a row in the Nationwide Series. The 3 of Ty Dillon this time. He started. It was tight off of the corner. They'll make an adjustment because it was freeing up a little bit there at the end. Wedge adjustment for the 3.
Kevin Kidd and Matt Kenseth have been working on their adjustments. He'll free the car up just a little bit. Kenseth saying it was just a little bit snug throughout the course of that run.
Mike Bliss coming back out of the garage. Elliott Sadler, the race leader. Remember, he pitted under the caution at lap 64 when others didn't. But now you can't give up the speed on the fresh tires to these other guys. So here's Sadler on the pit lane.
Allen, he could have stayed out even longer, but he started to get a vibration on the right front tire, so they'll go 2 rounds up on the track bar and go in and change 4 tires. His car has been very tight. It has gone from very tight to very, very, very tight. That's 3 varies in the last time out running. It will also make a chassis adjustment in the left rear, and Elliott Sadler is down and away 12.5 seconds.
3 cars yet to pit to complete the cycle of lead lap cars. J.J. Yaley is your race leader, 93. David Starr, 44, is second. And Ryan Sieg, 39, is third. Then it'll cycle back around to Kyle Busch after they make their pit stops. There is Yaley.
Trying to get him low down. Made the commitment coming.
Tires look fine. One of the wheels had some rubber packed in it. Wheel weights are good. 88's coming. It's you and him.
So it'll cycle back around to Kyle Busch now with Dale Earnhardt Jr., Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Larson making up the top 5 after the cycle of stops complete. So Larson, the one losing ground on that set of pit stops.
It looked like they had some trouble on the right front.
Yep.
Slowed that pit stop down.
He was only 7/10 of a second behind Kyle Busch going down pit road. Now he's going to be about 4 seconds behind him off the pit lane is Kyle Larson. So big rush hour on the pit lane for the crews, including Sean Cotton carrying the jack for James Busher, who just finished his 13 seconds of glory. Well, new right side tire brought here by Goodyear to Texas Motor Speedway for the weekend. Got a lot of people's attention after Trevor Bayne spun early on at lap number 41. And then when Tanner Berryhill cut one down, and people toward the end of the long green flag run began feeling things kind of spooked everybody. Well, everybody's running up and down the pit road now looking to see how they fared, as we have been under green for some time now and just completed a cycle of pit stops here at Texas Motor Speedway. Just past halfway, Kyle Busch now leading. He's up on Dale Earnhardt Jr. by 9/10 of a second. Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, and Kyle Larson now make up the top 5 in that order. Check out the scoring rundown across the top of the screen. The pit crews and crew chiefs weren't the only ones running up and down the pit road looking at tires. We had our best people on it, right, Dave?
Was examining the guys watching the 54, especially that right front tire that Kyle was watching about. They looked at the rubber on the tire. Everything was good there. They turned it over, looked at the wheel to see if anything was out of round in terms of the lug holes. It was all good there. Kyle has not reported any problems since. As for Dale Earnhardt Jr., he said he was, quote, watching the right rear. When it came off the car, everyone took a look at it. I took a look at it. It looks great. So right now, the guys are trying to manage their tires to avoid problems, but none on those two.
Yeah, one thing that happens, you see a tire issue or two, and the drivers get nervous. They say, well, we saw this just a couple of weeks ago in the Cup race at California, so they're a little sensitive to it. They want to make sure there's not a problem. Until they make a run, they take the tires off, and the crew chief says, no problem, then they're going to go back after it. But they were just a little nervous that run.
Well, they got confidence right now. We talked earlier about the track rubbering in. The track is rubbering in. And now with the crew chief saying, hey, the tires are fine, they'll go for it now. Before, they're just kind of hanging out, a little bit scared maybe.
Yeah, and every little vibration they feel, they think, oh, I may be having a problem.
And
it turns out they didn't.
You know as well as I do, on an older surface like this, when these things rubber in more as the race goes on, it gets much kinder on the tires. So Goodyear's liking this right now. I think we all are. Yeah,
what happens is as the tire rubbers in, as a track rubber, I'm sorry. Wow, that was close, real close.
Yep.
It starts filling in all those little gaps in the porous surface, and it makes it a whole lot easier on the tire.
Regan Smith 7, Ryan Blaney 22, fighting for 7th and 8th places. Fighting pretty hard. Blaney driving this Penske 22 car that has not finished worse than 4th this season, with 3 different drivers behind the wheel. First time he's been on a 1.5 mile track in a Nationwide Series car since last September when he won in Kentucky.
Wow, I didn't know that he hadn't been on a 1.5 mile track in that long, but he's doing a good job tonight.
Yep. How about that?
I would say that crew chief knows how to handle all these different personalities, and it's a pretty basic setup in for all of them. And they all seem like they drive it good, and they all had good success out of it. This car, week in and week out. That car, week in and week out, is strong.
What I give Blaney credit for, besides obviously having some talent, making the most of the opportunity. You're sharing a car with Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano, who, yes, have shown they're pretty good at this. And he's making the most of the opportunity every time he gets a chance to get behind the wheel of this car. Good
one
kid.
of the fastest cars on the track right now.
Yep. Bright future ahead. Ryan Blaney just moved himself up to 7th position. Caution's out, pit road's open. One of those pull out your hair decision moments for the crew chiefs. Looks like they're all coming in, but what do they do while they're here, Dave?
Leader Kyle Busch will have a wrench go in the rear window for a track bar adjustment. He was a little bit loose. Tires are going to be changed. Same for Dale Jr. They debated it a long time. His car was really good on the balance that time. Doc?
No debate here, all about the numbers for Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick. 78 laps to go. They got 2 sets of tires, so you got to put fresh Goodyears on, and both will do it. Right top, right bottom, right side tires going on the rookie Elliott. Now left side tires going on Kevin Harvick. Slight air pressure change. Neither of those two have complained of a problem. Pit stops. Elliott's down and away at 14 seconds.
Harvick's crew doing a good job, gains 2 spots.
So there you go. Reason for the 4th yellow flag of the race. Chad Boat, the young driver aboard that 84 car, was running in 21st position, and he had trouble off turn 4.
Runs out of room, gets it in the wall. Gets a little worse from here. Kyle Busch right behind him.
And how it finished up further down the stretch. Fortunately, nobody else got into the young 22-year-old from Phoenix. Doubled up for the restart in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. O'Reilly Auto Parts 300 tonight at Texas. Reminder, NASCAR's launched its 2nd annual NASCAR Race to Green initiative, a way for race fans to help support the environment. Visit www.nascar.com/green and learn more about NASCAR's Green Initiative. The green car of Kevin Harvick outside the black and green car of Kyle Busch. Kyle now the race leader. Remember, Harvick dominated the opening third of this race, slipped back. They did find a wheel weight off the right front on Harvick's car when he fell back feeling that vibration, so he knows he's good to go here. See if he can get the lead back from Kyle. Little intense action there.
We look at Chase Elliott get a big run off turn 4.
But whenever you got brand new tires, these cars got all that grip, you got to take advantage of it right away, because literally 3 or 4 laps later, I mean, the grip's going to be way down. They got to strike hard. They got to strike right now, and that's what you saw Chase Elliott do.
Yeah, Harvick struggling though.
Wow. Started alongside Kyle Busch for the restart. Now finds himself back in 6th place. And under pressure there.
Yeah, that car's not right. Nowhere near as good as it was early.
Ryan Blaney and Brian Scott, 22-2, working on Harvick.
You know, you just wonder if the 5 car of Kevin Harvick might have made an air pressure change, and maybe that front splitter plowing. When maybe that splitter's banging on the ground and causing a problem. Until the air pressures come up, it's probably going to do this, because when that thing starts gaining pressure, that splitter will get back off the ground.
It's the absolute worst adjustment I've had in a long time.
Well, I'll say he's really struggling right now. And he started up on the front row on the restart.
Yep. And that is 9th place. He's about to be shuffled back to if Ty Dillon can get by him here in the 3. 18 cars on the lead lap, 62. Brendan Gaughan got the free pass at the caution. He's back in the mix. And Brendan back there fighting for 12th and 13th for the moment, getting by Dylan Kwasniewski for the 12th spot. Matt Kenseth next in front of him. Haven't talked much about Matt since, I don't know, the opening 5 laps of the race in that 20 car.
I can't believe he's not any better tonight. I expected him to be, if not one of the cars to beat, probably the car to beat.
Yeah, pretty decent run out of Dylan Kwasniewski. I mean, he's had a lot of problems this year, guys. He just needs to get this thing home clean. A lot of wrecks, but he's young. He's learning.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other young drivers in the field too, but they have a lot of experience. Kwasniewski doesn't have a lot of experience. Not that many races under his belt. I think he's doing a really good job. I talked to him today about it, and he says he's seeing these tracks for the first time and racing these cars. I mean, this is all new to him. I think he's doing a good job so far.
Another young driver right behind him, Texas native Chris Buescher. Remember, started at the back. I know I've said it a couple times, but for folks who weren't with us earlier, the 4 cars that never got through tech inspection in time to make a qualifying effort today, Buescher was one of them in that number 60 Mustang, and he has come all the way up to 15th place in that car. Pretty good effort. Second place here, Chase Elliott working on the boss.
Yeah, that's one way to impress the boss.
I'll tell you, this kid has really impressed me big time. Chase Elliott, he's driving older than what he is. He looks like a veteran out there. Seems like he never hurts that car. He's another guy giving good feedback. We've all talked to his dad. His dad just blown away how good the kid's doing.
A few weeks ago in the race at Las Vegas, Chase Elliott went by Dale Earnhardt Jr., and when we talked with Dale Jr. on the air after the race, he said that kid doesn't even know how good he is.
All of them in the top 10. Now Harvick's the one bringing up the rear for Junior Motorsports. He was leading early in the race.
And
look at
putting
this.
pressure on the race leader.
Look at that.
Talking pressure.
Watch it off that corner.
I tell you, we might be early enough in this run. He can make that bottom groove work, make this pass. I believe he's going to get it done. Actually, pretty easy.
New leader, Chase Elliott, around Kyle Busch.
Give a little nap of know-how.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't won, that move right there for Chase Elliott was probably one of the top moments in his career. Passing Kyle Busch, clean as a whistle, and he's leading this race and just getting it done.
That might be one of his greatest moments so far. I think he's got a lot of things to do, so stay tuned. This kid's going to win a lot of races.
Can I use your line?
What's that feel like, dog? Just a little bit on the free side. Probably too free for the long run, but good for now.
Dare I say he's flat flying?
He probably is flat flying. I wish we had a shot of his dad. I bet he's chewing his fingernails off right now. Old Bill Elliott. You know, he's here somewhere. I just don't know where.
Yeah, you see Greg Ives right there. He made a good adjustment on this car, evidently, on that last pit stop.
So now for second place, Dale Jr. working on Kyle Busch. Up to second for Junior, back to third for Kyle Busch. Past the 2/3 mark of the race, and it's an 18-year-old from Georgia who's leading. Chase Elliott out in front. Always love going there. Chase Elliott leading here in Texas tonight. 8th different driver to lead the race. Took the top spot by passing Kyle Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in this last run of the race after pit stop. Pit stop's coming in lap 122. You see it's been just a little over 20 laps to go. And now Elliott out in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. by 0.7 of a second. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance and start it with the leader's pit. Here's Doc.
And how about Chase Elliott? 18 years, 4 months, 7 days, and now leading some of NASCAR's greatest stars on one of the tougher super speedways. You know, when I talked to his mom and dad, Bill, just before the race, Bill said, I just can't believe how good this young man is. He's never been here. He had never been to Las Vegas or California when he ran in the top 10 there. A moment ago, his mom, Cindy, who was a great photographer in this sport long before she was married, had been taking pictures every lap. There's Cindy there in the picture. And when she saw her son take the lead, she just dropped her camera down to her waist and turned and had a huge smile on her face, a proud mom. And oh, by the way, she said, my son's a good student too. He said he really is a great listener and understands what's happening on the racetrack. AB looks like he's getting a challenge now.
Boss is going to figure out what he's got here. Work on him a little bit, see if he can get that top spot.
Yeah, test him a little bit. See how he is under fire.
They got 2 seconds on third place Kyle Larson. Wow.
I think Junior has the better car after they put some laps on the tires. That last run, he had started to move his way towards the front. I think as they put laps on him, he's got a little better long run car. I think Chase Elliott has the car in the short run if it comes down to it.
Tell you what, I'm just really impressed of Dale Jr.'s cars. I mean, 3 of them in the top 5 right now. Chase and Earnhardt Jr. himself and Regan Smith 5th. I mean, that's a big effort to bring 4 cars here and have all of them running that strong, Andy. I mean, you got to really hand it to them for what they've done to that team.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if that might stretch them a little thin to bring 4 cars, but it looks like it's actually helped them.
All right, challenge for the lead is up, so let's continue with our Nationwide Insurance Up to Speed. Dave's covered in the 88.
Oh, but Andy, it's stretched them thin. They've got every part and piece here from their shop. In fact, Mike Bumgarner, the listed crew chief, is up on the box, but Steve Letarte is the voice that Dale Jr. normally hears on Sunday. He'll hear it tonight all night as they call race strategy together. But they worked hard. Everybody pitched in to get the cars here, and they're having a great night as a company. A little free right now for Junior. As for Kyle Larson, a good night as well. His run started a little bit free, and then it became tight into the center. So they're still adjusting on it just a little bit, and you get the idea that Kyle is maybe waiting for that last set of tires to then go search out a line and chase down these JRM leaders. As for Kyle Busch, he's been radioing a few different things to his crew chief, Adam Stevens, including one which was, hey, email me about shocks. Kyle always thinking they want to talk about shocks after this. Right now, his car is going loose on this run. Mike?
For Regan Smith, there's been a bit of an adjustment period to a new crew chief in Ryan Pemberton this year. And so far during this race, there was a bit of a test. Ryan Pemberton took a very big swing at the car, putting a spring rubber in the left rear. The car did not react well initially, but after about 20-25 laps or so, it started to come in. That helped Regan Smith build some trust. They didn't make any changes after that, and the car has come to life. He feels much better about it, Doc.
And Kevin Harvick was our early leader and our pole sitter. And you heard after that last stop, Kevin said the car is plowing. It absolutely will not turn. And here's what happened. They took air pressure out of the left rear, and so the splitter was hitting in the corner, causing the car not to turn and plow. Now that the tire pressure has gotten up, the splitter is no longer hitting, and Kevin says the car is driving better. Now behind them, how about the impressive run for another youngster, 20-year-old Ryan Blaney, who's only driven 1 race this year for Penske, that being a 4th-place finish at Bristol. He drove here back in 2012, and with 15 laps to go, he drove all the way up to finish 2nd behind Kevin Harvick. Alan?
Whoa. Had his hands full there. Off of turn 4. Hung on to it. And for the race lead, again.
I'm telling you, it just blows me away, guys. I guess I've just been every single lap. I'm in amazement how good Chase is running, being this young. I mean, this is a big, big day. I don't know, maybe I feel like I'm overselling the kid, but he's getting it done.
Here's what I see happening. You guys tell me if you think I'm onto something or I'm off base. Hang on to that thought for a second. Chase is moving around trying different lines, right? You watch him, different ends of the racetrack and so on. Sometimes doesn't go so well. Junior was able to close up on him. Sometimes it went well. He got away from him a little bit. Well, that one didn't go so well at all. And maybe also the handle falling off on that 9 a little bit as we get more laps on this set of tires.
Yeah, I think, like I said, his car's good in the short run. He is searching around. I see him trying to find a place where his car's a little more happy. But Earnhardt Jr.'s car is really happy in these longer runs.
Yeah, it really is. I agree with you. And I think that Chase Elliott just in that lap before said, you know what? I think I messed with the boss long enough. I better let him go because he does have a better car.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. out in front. 45 laps to go. A lot of racing and another pit stop left to go here at Texas with Junior leading. Beautiful night in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 61-degree evening. A lot of folks in town this weekend. Men's basketball championship, Final Four going on at Cowboy Stadium. That is 29.8 miles driving from Texas Motor Speedway.
Did you measure it?
I did the online thing.
Oh, okay.
Where Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going considerably faster than 29.8 miles an hour as he leads tonight's 300-miler for the NASCAR Nationwide Series, down now to about 50 miles to go. It's Junior leading Chase Elliott by 2 1/3 seconds. Kyle Larson is third. Here's the race for fourth. Kyle Busch, 54. Kevin Harvick, 5.
Kevin Harvick's car finally woke up after it kind of went away on him in the early part of this run.
Yeah, Doc was talking about how the splitter was sitting pretty bad in that car, and when the air pressure came up, it started coming alive, and that's pretty well of a classic case if you get those pressures too low.
Give it to Harvick, who dominated the opening 100 miles of this race. Well, not so fast. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go. Harvick dominated the opening 100 miles of this one, but then fell back into traffic. And turned out he had a wheel weight come off the right front of that 5 car. Then they made the pit stop with the difficult adjustment that was described here moments ago. And now Harvick trying to see if circumstances can play in his favor and they get back into this thing when it's time to decide who takes home the trophy.
Tell you what, if Kevin can get down pit road first, under green flag, and get those 4 tires on and get out, and maybe try to make some track position up on these guys when everybody else stays out a little bit longer and then pits, that might be what he needs to do to save himself.
They're going to have to pit with about 25 laps to go if it goes green. And they need to do something with that 5 car to make it go on those new tires, or they're not going to be able to do what they came here to do, and that's win the race.
We are not the only ones talking about that last pit stop.
Our last sort of the race will be about this distance or a little shorter. You still want to be just a little tighter? I don't know. I mean, everybody else is struggling worse than I am. It's loose. I'll say that. And 4 on loose. Loose and fast. I like it.
Yeah, I bet he does on top of that pit box.
You know, he just said something there that was so cool. You know, I might be off a little bit, but I'm better than the rest of them, and I'm loose and I'm off. I tell you, and Steve Letart's saying loose is fast. Generally, a little bit loose is what you want. A lot loose is not fast.
You're hesitant to adjust a car that's out front, you know, when you're driving away from the field. No matter what it feels like, you think, well, if I adjust on it, are we still going to be as fast? Well, I tell you, Harvick's car really has come to life.
Trying to take third place here from Kyle Larson.
I really do think Kevin's got probably one of the best cars out there. Just his last stop is what's got him behind. Again, if he can get back up in sync with the rest of these guys, he's probably got a car that can win this race.
Oh, trouble.
Lock it down, turn it right.
60, Chris Buescher.
We just got wrecked, guys, 99 wrecked.
55, Jamie Dick. And somebody brought up James Buescher's number in that radio conversation. So 2 Texas drivers with damaged cars and another Texas driver's number mentioned. And a yellow out for the 5th time in this race.
Took the air off your inside there, Jamie.
Jamie Dick running in 20th place. Chris Buescher running in 14th place. And now with a couple of torn-up race cars.
I think Chris Buescher just got caught up into it. James Buescher was running right behind Jamie Dick in the 55. They come up off the corner. I think that's more than taking the air off. A little contact. Right in front of Chris Buescher.
Yeah, Chris Buescher just couldn't do nothing about it. I mean, Jamie Dick got right in front of him with that wreck.
Jamie Dick out of the car, pit road open. Here come all the leaders for the big stop. Dave?
Leader, Junior, car a little bit loose. Crew chief says, I'm going to tweak on it just a little bit. 4 tires for him. As for the 42 of Kyle Larson, his car right now is loose. Air pressure out of the right rear. Doc.
Chase Elliott, a little free on landing, so the car got free when the 88 tried to go by him. 4 tires, fueled 1/2 round down on the track bar. Kevin Harvick said, put 4 tires on it, and for heaven's sakes, put the air pressure back up in the rear tires so I don't hit the splitter and I can take off. Also going to make a slight left rear chassis adjustment down on the way. 12.9 seconds for Harvick, and he will be the first car off pit road.
Boy, that pit stall really paid off for Harvick.
They put him right back in the game. Incredible pit stop for Harvick. That's exactly what he needed.
You get the first pit stall by winning pole position in qualifying and having the first pick. And so Kevin Harvick up 3 spots to the race lead. This the reason for the caution flag. James Buescher, Jamie Dick with the first contact. Chris Buescher into it after that. And then that nasty old retaining wall gets involved too. That is the remnants of Jamie Dick's car being loaded up onto the rollback here at Texas Motor Speedway as we are under caution with now 28 laps to go. The yellow flag giving all the leaders a chance to get their final set of pit stops done under the caution and reshuffling the front of the field.
Yeah, it's getting ready to get good right here. Short run. We're going to see some of these adjustments these teams made, see if they can make any difference. Harvick, we'll see if he can be good again in the short run. He wasn't the last time. Chase Elliott, his car was good in the short run last time, so we got the makings of a really good race right here.
Kevin Harvick dominated the opening going. Talked about a little bit ago how they had a vibration because they ended up discovering a wheel weight came off the right front, and then that air pressure difficulty on the last set of tires. But car came back to life, and then the pit crew really helped them out here on this last set of stops.
Everything kind of came together. They earned that #1 pit stall by qualifying on the pole. They came down pit road, made a great stop. Dale Jr. came down as the leader, and they made a good stop, 13.5. But you see that 12.4 for Harvick? That with that first pit stall, hard to beat. That was the fastest crew time on pit road that round.
I mean, you're talking 12.4 compared to 13.5. That was a big pickup. And for Harvick, he was probably pretty surprised that he come in 4th and come out 1st. I mean, that's a big gainer here late in the run. 28 laps to go.
You earned it.
Yeah.
Earned it through qualifying.
They did a good job.
Cleaning up some of the bits and pieces of rubber and debris and so on, and the accident scene out on the backstretch still being worked on. So let's take a moment and check that on pit road. Here's Dave.
Steve Letarte liked the loose, fast race car, but you promised him you would tweak on it a little. What could you do to make that car better?
Well, you know, it's different if you got to make a full fuel run versus short run. We had to make sure this Ragu Chevy would get up and get going here in the first, 5 or 10 laps for this last run, but so far so good.
I get the idea that part of the reason you're up here tonight is to help keep him loose and have fun and drive that race car faster because of that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's really all I'm doing. Mike Bumgarner, everybody at JRM put together a great car. They really did all the work. All I'm doing is just calling the race. Dale knows my voice over the radio. I know his, so the communication's clear, but I didn't have a whole lot to do with it. These guys put a great race car together. It's been a lot of fun.
That familiarity seems to make Junior a better guy out there tonight. He's doing really well right now, Doc.
Indeed he is. Let's talk with Greg Ives, and Greg who's calling the shots for Chase Elliott. Greg, no one knew what Chase would do. He'd never been here. He's 18 years old, and all these Sprint Cup superstars in the field. Your impressions of what this young man has done behind the wheel of your car tonight?
Well, I really think the Nationwide Insurance Series really got a talent with this one. We're racing with the Sprint Cup guys, and, that's what we need to be doing, and just with everything going on, our team gelling and, all the new things happening. It's just exciting for Junior Motorsports to be running 1, 2, 3, it looks like, and, hopefully we have good things to come here.
I know you mentioned the car was a little bit free on landing, and now Chase is talking to him. The car was a little bit free on landing. You made an adjustment a moment ago. Does he have the experience to be able in these final laps to possibly outrun a Kevin Harvick or Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
I think if we give him the right car, he has a talent to do it. It's just one of those things. We have a fine balancing act. He's able to move around a little bit, and it looks like the speed's on the bottom. He was a little too loose landing there, so we tightened him up a little bit for the short run, and hopefully it's going to be a nice 25-lap shootout, so short track style.
Wouldn't that be a heck of a call? An Elliott, an Earnhardt, and a Harvick battle. It's from like the old days of NASCAR. Let's go to Mike.
And championship leader Regan Smith running 6th right now. You've been tweaking on it most of the evening. What's he saying he has for this final run?
I think the car's been pretty good all day. I mean, obviously, all the junior motorsports teams are running really strong right now. Real proud of that. We just we're a little too loose there. I think we're going to be a little tight at the beginning of the run, but lap 20 really seems like it comes to them, and it's going to be about a 20-lap race here to the end. So hopefully it comes to us.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Dave?
It seemed like Kyle Larson had a better handle on the car early in the day. Scott Zipadelli here with us. A better car of the other guys right now, or has yours, what I'm trying to say is, has yours gone away, or has it just gotten better?
No, I think I got behind on adjustment right there. We were a little bit tight, and I made a small air pressure change. And at the same time, it seemed like the track made a big swing and freed up. So we got it back where we were, and hopefully we can get this cartwheel Chevy back up front and try to win us another race.
Nice to have that last pit stop and a set of 4 tires, AB, to get them back where they want to be.
Without question. And still not yet on the one to go as they continue to clean up around this racetrack. So it gives us a minute to tell you about some of the upcoming races for the NASCAR Nationwide Series, including Darlington next weekend. In South Carolina, up to Richmond, on to Talladega, Iowa, Charlotte. Good variety of racetracks.
A lot of goodness coming up.
Yep. Join us at the track, NASCAR.com/tickets, or the number at the bottom of your screen. So the field has now been doubled up. They just sent a bunch of wave-around cars past the pace car. And those cars working their way past some safety vehicles on the racetrack and trying to catch up to the tail end of the field here. And we'll get ready to go. So 24 laps to go, and we get the green flag.
This restart's going to be really something with all new tires in these cars. This old wore-out surface really grippy on new tires. It's going to be an incredible turn one. I can promise you that. They're going to get down in there maybe 3 wide.
You can see by the lights on the pace car, they waved off the restart, trying to get all the wave-around cars caught up with the pack and doubled up and all that kind of thing. So we'll go back with 23 laps to go now.
So as a driver, you're all jacked up now. You're ready to go. You know it's real close to the end. And NASCAR calls it off. And you got to calm back down. Got to get this track position going into 1 and at the worst off the 2, because we know how fast these tires are. And we know they're out of time.
So Kevin Harvick with Chase Elliott to his outside and Dale Earnhardt Jr. on his back bumper.
Hey, I do now see the beauty of nationwide racing, though. Now there are no more tires, so there's no more stress on us in here. Yep.
Yeah, no more tires left, no more decisions to make. It's all up to you, bud.
Stevie Letarte trying to have some fun with Dale Jr. tonight here as they moonlight a little bit on a Friday night in Texas.
Yeah, it's hard to call a nationwide race with that limited amount of tires you have and how to strategically put them on the car. But once you're done with the tires, it's all up to the driver.
Doc?
Chase Elliott said, if I run well here tonight, I got to give the credit to Kevin Harvick. He's my teammate, and I've been leaning on Kevin. Kevin's been telling him about how to move the car around, change the line, change the balance of the car. And then one of Chase's crew members said, you might have to door that 5 car tonight to win this race. And Chase had big eyes, but he smiled.
He's got his chance right here. Go. Junior shuffled by Kyle Busch. Elliott working Harvick's back bumper while Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson race for third place.
And you can tell Harvick's got that splitter up off the ground right now. That last restart was a really good one, and a really good one for Chase Elliott also.
Well, you can't count out that 54, Kyle Busch. He's strong on these short runs.
And he did what he had to do. Right before he got to the line, he darted down, made it 3 wide, getting into turn 1, picked up a position right there. And like I talked earlier, with these fresh tires, you got to strike really quick.
9 car looked like he had his hands full right there. We were seeing that left rear quarter panel out the windshield of Kyle Busch's car.
And he's still digging, though.
Funny thing about these race cars, you know, come in, change a set of tires. Sometimes it doesn't react the way that you expect it to, or your science predicts that it's going to. Look at Dale Jr. all the way back in 5th place now.
Yeah, he just got kind of put in a bad position by Kyle Busch on that restart. And like you said, shuffled out of line. I don't think his car's that bad. He just didn't get a very good start.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think he's got a good car. He just lost the momentum when he got 3 wide right there, and that got him behind. Maybe if they get another caution flag here and everybody lines back up again, he get himself back up in there.
It looks like he's got some kind of issue there.
For the lead on the right, Elliott and Harvick. And Kyle Busch lurking.
I like how Chase moved up that time, trying to keep that momentum and get that nose in the clean air and try to get him on the outside if he can. I don't think they're going to make the pass down low up off the corners. It's just they bog him down. I think what Chase is doing right there is the right way to do it. Keep that nose out and keep that thing wound up.
He's got a little run right there off turn 2.
Now, and if he's got the run, he's got the momentum, go ahead, go for the bottom. But if you don't have it, I wouldn't try it down low.
And part of the game, you're playing behind the wheel too. If that's where you see he wants to run, take his line.
Oh yeah, these cars are so aerodynamic sensitive. I mean, if you see Chase move up, he can block his line and hurt that. On the other hand, if Chase's car is strong enough, then he gets right on the tail of Kevin Harvick up off the corner, he can make Harvick real loose and pass him that way. And I will tell you, a veteran, that's what they will do. They'll try to get on him, get that car all loosened up late in the race so they get past him.
Sparks or just dust, I guess, reflected in the lights and the camera lens.
Well, I think that you probably did see sparks, Allen, because
hey, this is a good run.
Here.
There you go.
Wow!
Oh, what a pass!
Right around the top side, that momentum.
That is a pass, my man. New leader, the 9.
How about that's Earl Barbin speaking, the spotter for Jimmy Johnson. Spotting for Chase Elliott.
2nd place now.
I don't know what happened to Harvick's car, but it looked like it maybe just kind of jumped out from under him for a second.
Man, wouldn't that be something? We saw a big win for Kyle Larson in California. What if Chase Elliott in front of this big crowd gets his first win? Right here at Texas.
Harvick says he's way too tight. Well, you know, Chase Elliott put a lot of pressure on Harvick, too. Made him run extremely hard. I mean, that was just a great pass he made.
Rusty, you talked about Kyle Larson winning last week in California. Last time, back-to-back first-time winners in the Nationwide Series. Right there, 2008. A couple of guys have gone on to do some pretty good things in this sport.
That's a good point, Alan. They really have. I mean, these guys have learned from these Nationwide cars and really excelled. Chase has taken a good team and a good car and given it a good run. Boy, I tell you, I think his father, Bill, has helped him a lot being cool behind the wheel.
Harvick trying to hang on to 3rd. Kevin will by far end up leading the most laps in this one tonight. He's led half the race. But it's not going to finish like he wants unless we see a caution flag and a big change in circumstances here. That's back to 4th place now.
You know, we did a special on NASCAR Countdown probably about 3 weeks ago about Dawsonville, Georgia, where when Bill would win, they would ring the siren. And then if Chase wins, they hit the siren. I'll guarantee you they're sitting in Dawsonville right now with their finger on that button, getting ready to hit that siren. And look, I'm not trying to jinx those guys, but they're getting warmed up to hit that thing because this kid is flying out there right now. 1.8-second lead in front of Kyle Busch, and 0.2 of a second faster that last lap.
Now, that's just incredible to me that you come to a difficult racetrack like this, never seen it before, never raced on it before, and take it to these veterans like he has tonight. I mean, that's just so impressive.
Look at that mother. She's about to cry. I don't blame her. See your son win, maybe, here under this big stage with all the Cup guys out there.
Got 9 hard laps left to go.
That'll be the longest 9 laps of his life.
Hers.
And hers. He's thinking, how long can I hold my breath?
And he's thinking, please, caution, don't come out. Just let this thing run out.
You know, you hear people talk about when you're leading a race, you start to hear noises, things like that. Think back to that day in Bristol, a long time ago for me, when you're leading that race in the final laps, looking for your first Cup win. Really? You hear things, feel vibrations, stuff like that?
Absolutely you do. You feel harmonics in the car. You hear vibrations, and you overthink it. You think maybe that corner didn't feel like the corner before. There's something going wrong with this car. And the crew chief's calming you down. The spotter's calming you down. Everybody's trying to keep your composure. I just said a little while ago, he passed Kyle Busch. That was probably the biggest feeling of success in his life. And now he's about to win this race? Come on. Incredible.
7 laps to go.
Last time by, Kyle Busch just matched his lap time. But Chase has got 2.15 seconds on the kid, and he keeps pulling away. But Kyle matched him that very last time.
Doc?
This past week, when all the other Nationwide Series drivers were at the beach with an off week, Chase Elliott was sitting in class in a high school in Alpharetta, Georgia. He said, I'm thinking about everybody else relaxing, and here I am getting ready to take a math exam. He said, I made a 90 on the math exam, and I thought to myself, if I can stay this focused in school, knowing how much I love to race, then I can stay focused on the racetrack. Maybe it will pay off. Maybe going to class will be the magic I need. I think it was, because he's just a few laps away from becoming a NASCAR winner in the Nationwide Series.
Remember the funny thing that was going around on the internet after Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the Daytona 500? Of course, his team owner, and Chase said he wrote himself a tardy slip when he got to school the next day because, said, was watching the race, thought for sure we'd have the day off because Junior won.
I'll be darned. Look at that, 2:24:14.
I wonder if it worked.
8:30 in the morning, 8:29. He gets up earlier than I do.
You know, think about it. He's 18 years old. With all the different things like Bandolero cars and Legends cars and so on, kids are, and go-karts and quarter midgets and all the rest, kids are able to start racing at a lot younger age than they could, for example, in your time, Rusty. But now they start racing when they're 5 years old. And they get to this level with a decade of racing experience under their belt already. And that's all good and fine. But to transition as quickly to the top of a level of racing like this, I understand he's in good equipment, but he's got great people around him, and he listens. Obviously, he's soaking up a lot of lessons well, and obviously the kid has got a mountain of talent and a great feel for this, to be able to do this at 18 years old.
Yeah, I want to really express how big this is. I mean, this is incredible that this guy can come in here with the limited experience that he does have, never been here, never seen this track, and beat some of the best we've ever seen here. This is really, really impressive.
I can't agree with you more. This is a big, big moment for NASCAR right now and for this young man's life. And what about Rick Hendrick? Rick Hendrick has really believed in Chase Elliott, put a lot of effort into him, got him over there with Junior, got him in a good car because he believes in what he can do on the racetrack. And he's showing Mr. Hendrick right now he's got what it takes.
Dealing with the lap traffic, got some clear racetrack ahead, and you'll see the white flag when he comes off turn 4 this next time. One more lap and 1.5 miles left to go for Chase Elliott to get his first win.
One more good lap. Leader is 2+ seconds out back.
Won a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race last summer. Somewhat controversial circumstances surrounding the finish of that one, but what a bold outside pass on Kevin Harvick to take the lead in this one, and he's driven away with now a half a lap to go.
Elliott, there's your first nationwide win. I want to see the best burnout you ever did.
Chase Elliott wins at Texas.
Yes! Awesome freaking job, yes!
Ring that siren in Dawsonville, boys. Hit the button right now.
Best, we get the best. So we had no excuses today. We did a great job all around, and that's what happens. We win races. Awesome job, guys. Thank you for the car. Hard work. Keep bringing these fast race cars. We'll be in good shape, boys.
And look, Kyle Larson congratulating him. Knows what it feels like.
Just his 6th start in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Chase Elliott's a winner. Mike?
And I'm catching up with a very proud mom. You're clicking off pictures. You don't want to miss any part of this. You want to remember it forever, no doubt. What's this like for you?
I don't even know. I can't even describe. Fireworks, this is just a night to remember.
Your thoughts during those closing laps with such a big lead, but Kyle Busch chasing him down. What were they?
Just have to have faith. I just had trust. I knew tonight was his night. I don't know.
Well, emotion all around. Congratulations on the win. I'll let her go to victory lane now, and that's where she wants to be right now.
Wow, that's impressive.
This is one of the better ones.
That was one cool burnout. Can you believe this? This is amazing. Such a young age and just spanked these guys tonight.
That's right. I mean, he just wore them out.
Listen to the drivers that finished behind him tonight. Kyle Busch, 2nd. Kyle Larson, 3rd. Kevin Harvick, 4th. Dale Earnhardt Jr., 5th. Matt Kenseth, 6th.
It's about as strong as they get, isn't it, Alan? I would say so. Huge win.
I think one of the things that I enjoyed the most about the last race at California was seeing Kyle Larson's just youthful joy at winning on that stage for the first time. I think we're about to see that again here.
Yeah, I think so. What an impressive young man.
That's great. A lot of people happy for Chase tonight.
Very popular win. You see the drivers, all of them, crew members.
So the 2nd youngest winner in the history of the NASCAR Nationwide Series. There's Dad. If he's got any fingernails left.
He looks pretty calm, doesn't he?
He may look that way.
He's like I expected, Dad. Come on. There you go. Let's get a smile out of Wild Bill from Dawsonville.
18 years, 4 months, and 7 days old. Joey Logano was 18 years and 21 days old when he got his first Nationwide Series win. 2nd youngest ever. I doubt it's the last. We'll see it.
Well, NASCAR needed some good young up-and-comers to start filling those Cup cars up. I think in the last couple of races here in the Nationwide Series with Kyle Larson and now Chase Elliott, they got what they wanted.
Second place finisher tonight. He did beat the best. Kyle Busch is arguably the best nationwide series driver. All the stats say, we went head-to-head with Kevin Harvick and Dale Earnhardt Jr. They came out on top. This is going to be big. This one. It's here in the house.
Helmet off before you can talk.
I cannot believe that.
That is no doubt Rick Hendrick that Chase is talking to, since Doug Ducart, the Hendrick Motorsports vice president, was the one that handed him the phone.
Mr. H got to be proud of this.
How about that? 18 years, 4 months, 7 days, and the senior at Kings Ridge High School in Alpharetta, Georgia, Chase Elliott. Young man, you are a winner in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Share with us the emotions right now that you're feeling.
Unbelievable, man. I can't believe it. Just to have the opportunity to come and race with these guys, Junior Motorsports, with Napa Auto Parts on board, and just to have this opportunity is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for any racer who wants to try to make it to the top, and it just means the world to me to be here, and I can't believe it, man. Just to win here in Texas tonight, night race. I love night racing. It's a lot of fun in front of a great crowd. Just a great night. I want to thank Nationwide Insurance for their support, for what they do for us, the fans at home and here at the racetrack too. It was a good weekend for us. Hopefully we keep this going.
You told me prior to climbing in the car you had a very steep learning curve. You've never been here before, and you gave a lot of props to Kevin Harvick for teaching you a lot of things. What did he teach you that allowed you to make the pass on him and win this thing tonight?
That's crazy, man. I definitely wouldn't. I went to him for a lot of advice this week, and he helped me out. Gave me some tips I felt like to help tonight, and to pass him for the lead there at the end. That's pretty crazy, but man, I can't believe it. I really can't. This is just awesome, and just can't thank everybody enough. This is truly an honor to drive for these guys, and we have a great team. It's still early in the season. We want to make sure we try to keep this going in the right direction.
Chase Elliott in victory lane. They say this series is where names are made. Well, in this case, names are remembered. And how about Awesome Bill, the dad? Mike?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's a proud father, no question about it. What's this mean to you?
I'm about speechless. I can't thank Rick Hendricks, all the guys at HMS, Junior Motorsports for pulling this deal together, and Napa for putting it together at the last minute. I mean, everything was such on the fence all the way up till January, and I felt like Chase can do it. I've watched him run a late model car too much, and I feel like how good the kid really is. And I'll tell you what, to come here, and I keep saying it, for never have been to some of these places like Vegas, California, and now here at Texas, and come out and be the kind of guys you beat. And I'll tell you what, you've done a heck of a job.
Enjoy it.
We will. Don't worry, we will. Thanks, guys.
Everyone's congratulating Awesome Bill. Even the champ, the six-time champ, Jimmy Johnson, just shook his hand and congratulated him. Alan?
Well, quite a night here in Texas, and youth has served again in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Shortly on ESPN.com's NASCAR page, There'll be more post-race coverage, including interviews with some of the other top finishers in the race, but we are at the end of our scheduled airtime and just soaking in the scene. Next weekend, it's on to tough old Darlington Raceway. Friday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN2, and Sports Center is coming up next. 18 years old and a winner in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Georgia's Chase Elliott.